The call. Take care. I'll look forward to it, and I'll share it. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Glenn Steckling. Hello.
Hello, Art, and hello, Glenn.
Hello.
I got a question for you, Glenn.
Yes.
Your very first picture that you posted of that very clear shot of the moon, that crisp one with the two large craters on it.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever blown those craters up on that picture?
Yes, we have taken close-ups of a number of the high-quality shots, and those are depicted in the book as well, and I show them when I go out on the road on invitation. I did a lecture here for MUFON in San Diego, and I may be over in Laughlin at the UFO convention at the end of next month as well. So, yes, we do increase the size of the image when we find things of interest, because sometimes the pictures are big and they're hard to see.
Okay, I'm seeing on mine blown up one structures built within those two large craters. Now, is that what you've seen as well?
I don't know. How far did you go in, ma'am? You're not looking at pixelization, are you?
Yes, but I have a real fine quality. You can tell because you can tell the shadow casting and everything is still there.
I can't tell you off that picture offhand. If you go ahead and examine the pictures, and I've encouraged everyone, and my father encouraged everyone to do the same. That's why he supplied everyone with the serial numbers so that they could order the pictures themselves and go about the investigative process and show their friends, and that way we continue to keep this ball rolling. So if you see that, I have no doubt that there's a lot more information on these pictures to be seen.
Well, I looked at the two large craters, so then I went to a smaller crater. I do have good photo equipment on the computer. Maybe nothing else, but that photo equipment is there. And in the smaller craters, it looks like 17 years in the Air Force tells me it's almost like a silo on a couple of them.
Now, that I don't know. There have been reports of constructions in Greater Cassendi Crater with the Mount Wilson Observatory. They reported over a period of years that they saw construction, tubes leading from the bottom of the crater, going through the rim, out the other side. They would appear, and then the next year they would see them taken apart again. And that was documented. And then there's an area where a group of scientists say that they see an increased accumulation of domes. And so I think that the moon has a great deal of activity. I also feel that a certain amount of it has moved to the backside of the moon, because in recent years we have experimented with high-tech lasers and resonant field weapons and shot it at the moon. And so that discourages them a little bit. They move to the other side where it's a little
Speaking
safe.
of discouraging them, Glenn, there are a number of people, Stephen Greer being one of them, who would tell you that we have shot at UFOs.
Absolutely.
And advising that he thinks it's poor form on the part of Earth to be shooting at these people who can go great distances. I wonder how you feel about that.
Well, that's just the case. And if you look at both Major Kehoe's book, Aliens from Space, and Frank Edwards' book, Flying Saucer Serious Business, there are several circumstances where we have scrambled jets and fired at them, also from naval vessels and fired at them. And through this entire sequence of time, of many years of, shall we say, unwarranted aggression, they have never returned the aggression, and certainly they have both the power and the ability to completely flatten whatever they wish. So this once again brings into question how aggressive are they versus aggressive we are.
Well, I don't know. When you shoot at something, you're sending a strong message.
Absolutely.
A very strong message. And so you would discourage any further such behavior on our part.
Well, I think that we have enough information and we have enough knowledge that we have no reason not to wish to interact in a more reasonable manner.
I take it you've seen some of the STS footage of apparently UFOs being shot at and evading?
Yes. Absolutely.
Your book is Alien Bases on the Moon 2, correct?
That's correct.
Continuing the work of your father.
That's correct.
Is that book now available Amazon, for example, .com?
Absolutely, or they can order it directly from us on the website on the materials page, which the link is available that you've already put on there.
And you ever autograph any copies?
Absolutely. If people like to have that, certainly. I'm more than happy to do that. Just include your name and what you want in there, and I would love to do that.
Ooh, people love that.
Yes.
They absolutely love that. So they can get autographed copies. So to do that, where do they have to go?
They'd have to order it directly from us because I don't think Amazon would forward it. So they could go to the website and order it from GAF International here in Vista, California.
Cool. All right. Wanted to get that in. First-time caller line, you're on the air with Glenn Steckling. Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I had a question. Do you think that the Earth is like a quarantined planet?
Ha-ha. And a good question it is. Yes, Glenn, what about it? Are we like Australia was?
Well, Australia's a pretty nice place. I've visited many times.
Well, it's okay now, but I mean, crude beginnings.
I think that plenty of UFO activity comes and continues to come all the time. In fact, last year over Mexico, their interceptors photographed a whole armada of them as they were chasing of them.
His question was, are we quarantined?
That's right. So if we're quarantined, they can come here, and obviously we send out our probes into space. I think that as long as we don't go out into space with aggression and the desire to conquer, then I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be allowed to continue to go to space, and we seem to be doing so with our probes.
Well, we do. We had a disproportionate number of Martian probes that met with bad endings.
That's true.
Recently, we've had some more success, but there were some instances, as you're aware. And his question concerned quarantine. So, you don't think we're quarantined?
I don't believe we're quarantined. I believe that if there's any restriction going on, it's self-inflicted.
All right. Wildcard line, you're on the air with Glenn Steckling. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning, Rich from Phoenix.
Hey, Rich.
Fantastic show tonight.
Thank you.
Hey, Glenn, I got a couple questions for you. The first one about Mars, especially about what do you think about life on Mars, the fakes, and the knockouts of some of our probes on Mars, like you just mentioned a moment ago, and also about any special UFO sightings maybe over the Peoria, Arizona.
All right, well, let's hold it right there. That's a tall order already. Glenn, you've concentrated on the moon.
Yeah.
On your father's work. But there are, of course, as you're well aware, many questions about Mars, the face on Mars, and a whole lot more on Mars. Some photographs that are just absolutely rock-you-back startling from Mars. So stretch out a little and comment on Mars.
All righty. Well, that's not difficult. As we know, over a period of time, we are peeling away the old thoughts and concept about Mars as we did with the moon. Before we said, well, it didn't have an atmosphere. Obviously it does. It has dust storms. It has aurora. Just 2 weeks ago, scientists were baffled about aurora borealis because supposedly that's not supposed to be able to happen. We're talking about water. We're talking about warmer temperatures. And so, consequently, little by little, the picture grows into a much more representable place. Of course, the pictures when we're talking about the plains of Sidonia and the work of Poulter and Molinari and Richard Hoagland and things like that, these pictures are quite dynamic, and I believe personally that it shows conclusive evidence of construction on Mars, and whether or not the probes have been knocked out or whether they have been failures, or they may have been neither or both, and the probes are working just fine. We're just not told about it. There's a number of possibilities.
Michigan, I have a question for Glenn.
Hi, Ed.
Earlier you commented that you would know how to tell the difference between a visitor to this planet and us.
No, he said he would know how to tell. He just wouldn't tell us.
Right. I'm wondering if he's ever contemplating or has ever had an intellectual conversation with a visitor to our planet?
Very good question. Glenn?
Let's put it this way. I've had personal experiences. My family has. We did so with Mr. Adamski, and since that time, certain contacts he introduced us to that we have had the privilege of seeing occasionally. This is nothing that we control or anyone else but them. And these individuals I've had an opportunity to see on several occasions.
So that was a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take that as you wish.